We're getting that much closer to Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final as the Edmonton Oilers will take on the Florida Panthers for Lord Stanley's Cup. That gets going on Saturday. This is the Oil Stream live on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, on TuneIn, on iHeartRadio, as well as those watching on YouTube. Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with you here. I am in the Popeyes, Louisiana kitchen studio on the West End. Tommy at home downtown because he was at the rink watching Oilers practice. Tommy, how you doing today? How's the wind downtown? Because
it's windy.
Yeah, it's been wild today.
It's just insane. It's gusting. So whoever's golfing today, good luck. Outside of that, beautiful day. Absolutely beautiful day. But super windy and gusty. And close your windows, I guess. I don't know. I had to.
This Tommy's mic needs to be bumped up. You're fully cranked, Zach. Yeah, Tommy, you need to turn up your mic just a little bit there. I think Zach has you fully cranked there. Yeah, it's gusting to 50 or something. Tomorrow, this wind just is annoying. We're supposed to have this beautiful sunny days, and it's still going to be 19 degrees today and tomorrow and Friday. Mm-hmm. But it cools it just that little bit. Let's go. Let's just get the hot, sunny day. That's all I want. A nice week-long stretch of the sun pelting us. I want the 30s, but I know some people think that's too hot. Give me the 22 to 25 range just with sun and no wind. Is that too much to ask for?
No, it's not. Is this better? Is my volume better? I hope it's better. I cranked it up a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It does seem better.
I don't. Can I just on the weather thing really quickly, because we're starting to turn over into summer, which is fantastic, and we're still talking hockey and football now, which is excellent. Yeah, exactly. I love heat. We get such cold, crappy weather in the winter that those that are like, it's too hot. Once it gets to like 25, it's like, what are you talking about? This is beautiful. We're barely cracking the 80s. We're not even cracking the 80s at 25 degrees. And so I don't know. I love the heat. No socks, shorts, t-shirt weather, cold beverages, some full of alcohol, some without. That kind of thing. And so I don't understand the people that are like, 27, I can't handle 27. It's like, hey, take off the jeans, take off your socks, wash your feet because they probably stink, and enjoy what warm weather we do get in this lovely city of ours.
If you are a flip-flop person, that's the key. Don't let the soap just run down your body. Sorry, that's not doing the job with the feet. You got to get between the toes. You got to get underneath. If you are going to be flip-flop guy, let's I'm one of those people. You want to make sure that nothing else is coming from that. And then that's always, that is a big fear of mine that I have, is all of a sudden maybe my feet smell a little bit or something like that. So
the worst.
Wash it every day and don't just think that the soap running down is enough.
No.
But yes. Give me that plus weather. Give me that. Like, we go through so much minus weather.
Yeah.
Just give it even 2 weeks of plus 30. Not consecutively 2 weeks. Just break that up and then just be in the 20s and just live with it, because we don't get it long, and let's enjoy it. Although Zach to come in the nasty chat saying, I'd rather have minus 40 than plus 40. I'm the opposite.
Well, we know Zach's a weirdo. Yeah. He's our weirdo, but he's a weirdo.
I get it. There will be the people that say it's because when it's cold, you could dress up and you could wear layers and it's warmer. But
that's not fun.
When the wind chill comes, it cuts through anything you have on. I'm sorry.
Yes.
And I would rather just keep sweating. I'd rather just sit there and just sweat and not move, and that sun, because it's good for your body, vitamin D, and you just feel in a great place.
It's awesome watching hockey in shorts, flip-flops, and a t-shirt with the sun out. It's beautiful. And the other thing, I love how you brought up the wash your feet. And I know Justin of Balgoni likes to call me loofah boy. That's where the loofah comes in clutch, double time. And keep your toenails clean. Like, nobody likes nasty toenails.
Cut them.
Clip them.
I use a loofah. I'm not going to lie.
It's very thorough.
It does the job.
Yeah.
I don't know what other people would use.
Well, as soon as you said you let the body wash and soap run down your body and it gets on your feet, and some people assume that that's proper maintenance and hygiene, I immediately thought of my good friend Brett, aka Gunther, and many of my former teammates playing hockey who thought that that's how you clean your body, is just you start up here and then the soap trickles down.
Just grabs all the dirt It doesn't need any scrubbing at all. It just naturally just grabs the dirt and takes it with it as it goes down, and you wash it off. It's just that magical.
It doesn't work like that, although that's a noble concept. Anyway, let's talk hockey.
I will. I just got to throw you. YTT saying worst take ever, Zach to come. So there's 3 of us in favor of the hot weather, 1 against with Zach to come. So it's. I won't like leaving Game 6, Oilers Stars, and walking out of Rogers Place and it being relatively nice out,
sun out,
and the sun out. Well, it was out. It was because that game would have ended at 8:30 or something. There was still multiple hours left of sunlight. It just hits right. It just feels perfect. And knowing that like Saturday, 1 o'clock Riverhawks, 2 o'clock Elks, you could spend your multiple hours outside, and then you go watch an Oiler game, whether it be at a bar, whether it be at Hudson's, another patio in your backyard, bringing the TV out. It's just magical. And we've been waiting so long for this, so let's enjoy this. But let's talk some hockey. Let's talk some Oilers. As they practiced today, and there's some new lines. Would you care to go through the lines that you guys saw down at the downtown community rink today?
Oh, Matthew, I thought you'd never ask. Thank you for that. So a little bit of a tweak to the lineup. I mean, nothing too earth-shattering, but it was McDavid, Hyman, Nugent-Hopkins. That line has been intact pretty much the entirety of the postseason, except for a few games. And then Draisaitl with Holloway and Fogle as a placeholder for Evander Kane, who was not on the ice. Then you had Adam Henrique with Matthias Janmark and Connor Brown. Janmark and Brown have put together a nice body of work here in the postseason. And then I would call this the 4th line. It was McLeod on the left, Perry on the right, and then you had Sam Carrick and Derek Ryan rotating on this line. At times, it was each guy was at center between Ryan and Carrick. And then at times I saw Ryan, go on the right side in place of Corey Perry. Defense stayed the same. That means that Philip Broberg was with Cody Ceci, Kulak with Darnell Nurse, and then, of course, the big pair of Ekholm with Bouchard, Stu Skinner working in the starter's net as per usual. So a little bit interesting when it comes to how Chris Knoblauch is showing a bit of his hand here, and I don't think it's a big deal, really. I don't know how many surprises these two teams are going to throw at each other. They've been scouting each other for a little while now and have plenty of tape on one another. So this is what we saw today at practice.
Well, also, Chris Knoblauch's not been shy of tipping his hand before games. Point. The only time he came the closest was when he had the 3 guys that came out of the lineup. What was that? Game 4
Game
Stars?
5? Game 4?
Game 4, where that's when he made the change. Perry went in, and McLeod went in, and Darnay came out for Broberg. Because that was the first all series. Like he would say who his starting goalie was. He would announce some changes, and finally that moment he says, "I'm not making a comment, but there will be changes." But then all you media caught the changes because you guys saw who was skating after practice, and it was figured out. But that was the closest we've seen Chris Knoblauch not tip his hand. Outside, it seems like he's got. I'll always remember what J-Mo once said about Don Matthews, and that was he was never worried about leaving like a play sheet behind or something like that, because it was kind of just like, yeah, take my play sheet. I'll still beat you. We're still good enough to beat you. You don't know when I'm going to make these play calls and stuff. You could have it. I will beat you. You could have my playbook, and we are still better than you. And that's the attitude I think Chris Knoblauch kind of has, is that, we saw last year with Jay Woodcroft, he liked playing those games. He liked using the median and using misdirection, and he played. Yeah. And I can't remember, it was at the start of this year's playoffs last year when he had the starting goalie in the other net and not the starter's net, and tried messing with things. Whereas Chris Knoblauch's just going about it with, okay, here's what we're doing. Good luck, Florida. We're still going to beat you.
Yeah.
So I like that attitude from Chris Knoblauch.
I appreciate it. It was, what I also appreciate gamesmanship, and even though Jay Woodcroft would be coy and kind of silly about it, I still could appreciate it. Now, what effect it has at the end of the day in the game, minimal. I think it's safe to say minimal, but some guys buy into it. Yeah.
It's just like it doesn't – I don't think all of a sudden the Florida Panthers see the lines from the Oilers today and also go, oh, boy. Oh, we got to change a lot of things. Like, okay, we see this lineup here. We weren't expecting something like this. We got to figure out something different. Like, I just don't think that happens. I don't think that happens with goaltendings. I think everyone is scouted long enough that they have ideas of how this is going to be. Let's start with the Broberg Desharnais switch that has happened a couple games ago.
Yeah.
One, what have you made of Broberg's play through the end of that Star series? And is there any reason to think that there should be a change at any point this series? Or should Broberg be the guy that just takes the reign the rest of this series unless he absolutely has major problems?
Short answer to that, no. I think this is still tentative. Broberg has been surprisingly good. That's great. He's averaging 13.25 time on ice in the 3 games that he's played. He's got that goal. He's been steady. So I think, that's a sign that he's ready potentially to be part of the back end top 6 or 7 next year, and his time in Bakersfield is likely over. So that's great. He's playing well. He's filled in well. Now, I'm not surprised that he'll probably start game 1 and the defense will remain the same and it'll be kind of touch and go, because if he can't handle the heat and the physicality or whatever the Florida Panthers are going to throw at him, then I see we see a quick swap for Vinny Desharnais. And talking with Ryan Rishaug, who's on Monday Morning Mandates here on EST on the Nielsen Show, he also added that if the PK has some struggles, then we could see Vinny Desharnais back in action. That was a great point by Shoggy. So, yeah, Broberg, I think it's touch and go for him. Everybody else stays in. And to his credit, Philip Broberg has been pretty darn solid in the minutes he's played. And then the other guys around him have been really good. CeCe's game has been a little bit better. Kulak has been steady as usual. Nurse had a good game after getting called out and then doing the 1-minute interview with the media, with us last week. But his game since then has been okay. I wouldn't say it was as good as the game 4 showing that he had, but he needs to step up and be really solid for them. So, yeah, I think it's going to be touch and go, Maddie, with Philip Broberg. And you know what? So far, so good. So you take that, and he's contributed to a Stanley Cup Finals run.
What's it going to take for Warren Foegele to get back in the lineup?
Really soft play from Ryan McLeod or an injury. Knock on wood, Oilers fans. So I think if McLeod, who's already, by all indicators, looking at practice lines tonight or today, Ryan McLeod's on the 4th line wing. This Corey Perry, Ryan McLeod with Leon Draisaitl experiment looks like it's over. Probably good, because you're going to need Kane going. You're going to need Holloway playing the way he can and has at times this postseason. And I think they would complement Leon Draisaitl a little bit better against a pretty deep Florida Panthers squad. So if Ryan McLeod is not playing up to snuff, I could see Warren Foegele get in really quickly there as well. If he's soft, if he's coughing up pucks, then I think we see Foegele. And then the other way I could see Foegele getting into is if Corey Perry's not quick enough to keep up and if he has some struggles. But I feel like this is a situation where Corey Perry is going to empty the tank. This is probably his last hurrah. He hasn't said anything to indicate it, but let's not kid ourselves. We just watched Joe Pavelski say he's likely done. Corey Perry, during his availability yesterday, talked about how him and Pavelski came in around the same time in the National Hockey League. So time's winding down for Corey Perry, and I think he's going to give everything that he's got in this series. And if he has a little bit of magic left, Matthew, then that's great. But I think he's another guy to keep an eye on, because I think Warren Foegele's a little bit pissed off that he's not playing. He needs to be better when he does get his opportunity again, just like the guys who had to wait their turn and got in were. Connor Brown being a great example of that.
Corey Perry, he's 39. Next May, he'll turn 40. So that's just Father Time's undefeated.
Yep.
There's not much left. Who knows how many more years? When you look at this Oiler lineup and you look at this Panthers series, the one thing people point to is Panthers being a lot more of a physical team as compared to the Dallas Stars. How do you think the Oilers match up against that physicality? And can they match the physicality of the Florida Panthers?
Yes, I think they can. Talking to Leon Draisaitl today before scooting over to get back to the satellite studios to do the show, he wasn't too worried about it. And you look at the Oilers, they've got some big bodies. They've got some guys that can muck it up. It's just a matter of doing it. And I think the Panthers are more in your face than the Dallas Stars are. The Vancouver Canucks, I think, were a little bit more physical than the Dallas Stars were. Certainly, I think this might be similar in physicality, more so to the Vancouver series as opposed to the Dallas series. Now, the other thing I'm thinking of too is like the Florida Panthers don't have 7-foot giants on the back end, 3 of them. Yes, I'm hyperbolizing, but I think that they defend a little bit differently than the Vancouver Canucks did. But the in-your-face physicality, I think it'll be more similar to what we saw in the second round. And I think the Oilers managed that okay. Did they get run a little bit here and there in that series? Yep, but they also did a little bit of that to the Vancouver Canucks as well. So I think they're capable. It's going to be interesting to see what the Florida Panthers throw at them, and we'll see how the Oilers counter. But I think in terms of just stacking it up, you go, well, Edmonton's got a lot of their defense is really big. They've got some big forwards. They've got some strong forwards. They're guys that don't shy away. I think physically they should be okay.
This is the Oil Stream in the Nasty Chat. Walking Gage. He says he just gave U2 my thumbs up. He wrote it as U2 as if we're Bono and what's the guitarist's name?
The Edge?
Yeah, The Edge. I guess we're Bono and The Edge, the way he put it. But Gager in the Nasty Chat giving us a thumbs up. Jump in there if you're on YouTube as well. Give us that thumbs up. Portions of this hour of the Oil Stream brought to you by Boston Pizza. Playoff menu is now available, featuring the halftime square footer, a flight of wings, the triple play platter, and the new Chipotle chicken quesadillas. Fuel your fandom at Boston Pizza. Still on the show today, we will qualify someone for the $100,000 hole-in-one contest. Swing to win with EST, presented by Golf Town. That will take place July 3rd at the Ranch Golf and Country Club. We'll qualify someone for the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival, which Alley Cat is the official beer supplier of. That will take place July 12th through to the 14th. We have a VIP table to July 13th with Kevin Hart that we want to qualify you for. Your thoughts always welcome in the Nasty Chat, as well as the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999. I think Zach is also grabbing some audio from the rink today, so maybe we'll have some audio to throw out there as well. This text coming in from 403 number. Berberg might be better in there because he's fast and can make plays, while Desharnais is bigger, but he might get flustered with a fast, hard forecheck. And then Robin Mungle Fitness. Is Tkachuk going to be a bigger factor, better player than he was when Kane shut him down in Calgary? Robin thinks so. What do you think we're going to see from Matt Tkachuk going into this series? What type of Matt Tkachuk do you think we're going to get in this series?
An effective Matt Tkachuk. I think Matthew Tkachuk, A, remembers them losing to the Golden Knights last year. B, probably still has that Oilers series in the back of his mind. And him and Kane had a good series against one another. Some good chirps, and then obviously Kane did do a good job of handling Matthew Tkachuk and quieting him down. I'm sure that's something that the Oilers will look to again. Maybe the role is a little bit different from Kane, but I don't know. I think Matthew Tkachuk, Sam Reinhart, Sam Bennett, these are guys that have played really well in this postseason for the Florida Panthers. They're always around it. Verhaeghe's another guy you got to look out for. So I think Tkachuk is going to be a presence and a big one, and I think he'll be more effective than he was certainly in that series 2 years ago between the Oilers and the Flames.
How could the Oilers go about trying to get Tkachuk to go back and be like the Tkachuk that was in that Flame series? A way to maybe trigger him and get him playing like that. Is that possible, you think, at all? Is that up to Kane to maybe try to get that out of him? Because when Tkachuk got off his game and was focused too much on being the quote-unquote rat, Oilers got their power plays. They didn't play into it. They won that series and destroyed the Calgary Flames. Yeah. I think you're the one that pointed out a couple days ago, or someone did, that Paul Maurice has stated that Tkachuk has just matured from year to year, from last year to this year alone. Yeah. Do you think there's a way that the Oilers could try to get that out of him?
I don't think it's going to be the same Matthew Tkachuk from 2 years ago. If that happens, I would be surprised. As much of a turtle, as Oiler fans like to call him, which is funny, as much of a rat that he is out on the ice, I think what's part of his repertoire as a player, and a very effective one, a perennial all-star, 100-point guy, is the fact that he is able to adapt and he learns from prior mistakes or lessons. And that's why I think that he is going to be a better player and have bigger impact on this series than he did 2 years ago. And as annoying as he is, and as much as people probably don't want to hear that he's going to be harder to play against, it just that's why he pisses opposition fans off, and the opposition is because he is that guy who finds a way, and he can do it in different styles. He can play the skill game. He could play the hard-nosed game. He could be the a-hole that you hate on the ice. Like, all around, he's a hell of a hockey player, and I think Edmonton's going to have their hands full with him. But it's up to the team as a whole, really. I'm not going to say one guy like Evander Kane, but it would help if a guy could keep him in his hip pocket just to quiet Matthew Tkachuk down. But then, again, Sam Reinhart, Verhaeghe, obviously Barkov. There's so many weapons on this team. Edmonton's just going to have to be razor sharp from the drop of the puck.
Well, the last 3 years in the playoffs, if I'm looking at these correctly, 3 season playoffs combined. Connor McDavid is the leading point getter. Leon Draisaitl second. Evan Bouchard's third. The Oilers just dominating there. And it's Matt Tkachuk fourth. Like, he's been that good of a player. And if he is maturing, that's a huge benefit for the Panthers. But I'm sure the Oilers would love to see him kind of revert back to that Flames, because they then know the blueprint of how to beat that. Do got to ask, because you were at the rink today. I don't know if it would have come up yesterday at all. Brought it up on two guys yesterday. We talked about it on the Hangout today. Miami Herald columnist Greg Cody coming out calling McDavid overrated. What was it? Maybe it was just Mick overrated or whatever it was.
Overrated.
Calling him out, saying he's not generational. Was that at all being discussed? Was that something that was at all being talked about around the rink or anything like that?
Not well. I think someone brought it up today, and we just kind of laughed it off. I think DVD brought it up. It was like, yeah, it was dumb, but that's how you get clicks. That's how you get your name out there. It's low-hanging fruit. McDavid spoke after I had left.
Okay.
I was there for the Draisaitl availability, so maybe it was brought up.
Was it brought up to Draisaitl at all? You didn't see it hanging in the stalls anywhere?
No. I mean, listen, it's getting the attention that the guy. What's the guy's name?
Greg Cody. He's actually a great columnist. Yeah. He's on the Dan Lebatard show a lot. I do love Greg Cody. It just. As Will said on the Hangout today, he feels like this was probably he clicked send too soon. Probably this is a column you put out there at the end of a series if the Oilers lose. You could call him out like, hey, Panthers won. But before a series, this is kind of like, well, what are you really doing here?
Is this the Last Dance McDavid version where he goes, and I took it personally?
Well, that's the thing, though, is that I'm like, if I'm Paul Maurice and if I'm the Panthers, I'm livid at the Miami Herald right now. I am fuming at the Miami Herald going, the one guy you do not need to motivate is Connor McDavid. And now you've just tried motivating him just more. And that's like Gager and Cass, they talked about yesterday, two guys, how bulletin board material is legit. People will legit put that up on a bulletin board. And as Belsey was joking even today, he's saying like Chris Knobloch should go and even just embellish what was said and make it even worse just to Connor to really get him going. But great players don't need the motivation, as we've learned from Michael Jordan last day. And sometimes they'll just make it up on their own. But now you actually have a legit one here. And that's where I'm like, I would have to think if you're somebody in that organization, you're making sure Connor's aware of that.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm sure his teammates are like, hey, look, you're Mick overrated. I have no doubt in my mind that McDavid and Draisaitl will continue to have the type of postseason that they have had this year and in years prior. There's a reason. These guys are big game performers. This is the biggest stage. This is what they play for. This is what they desire, lust, thirst for. I think if the Oilers are to win the Stanley Cup, those two are going to be, a couple of lengths ahead of everybody else when it comes to the race. And those two thoroughbreds are just going to run, man.
Yeah, and
thoroughbreds, thoroughbreds.
And they know the legacy's on the line too. Like, I'm sure they're worried, not worried, but thinking about that, and they'll do everything they can to go get that title. I think. What players do we have, Zach? By the way, who do you have?
Connor McDavid, Stuart Skinner, and Leon Draisaitl.
Okay. We'll get to maybe McDavid right away here. Do want to remind people that the 2024 Hlinka Gretzky Cup is coming to Edmonton this summer. Rogers Place will play host to the best U18 hockey players in the world from August 5th to the 10th. 7-game, 14-game ticket packs are available right now, HlinkaGretzkyCup.ca, or you could head to Ticketmaster.ca to snag those tickets for this summer. So if you're like one of those people that complains like Zach does that it's all so hot outside and stuff like that, head on inside, enjoy some hockey, get some air conditioning. It's a great way to spend your summer, especially if you're somebody like Zach to come. And I think VR Montenegro's on Zach to come side with the Heat or something like that. Just not understanding. But at least there's something for you to do this summer where you could cool down. Also, be sure to go to Ticketmaster or GoElks.com if you want to get your tickets to the home opener this weekend. The Elks will be taking on the Riders at 2 o'clock down at Commonwealth Stadium. The launch of their 75th season. Tonight they're going to unveil their new third jersey for the season from 5 to 7 at Ice House downtown. Tomorrow's their annual dinner. Saturday, then, the tailgate party starts 3 hours early. They got the biggest autograph session ever in Elks history. And you can also join Jay and myself at Centric Casino Sports Bar and Lounge for the Green and Gold kickoff and post-game shows on Saturday. It's just a wild time here in the city.
How about for us?
Oh, for us. But we've got Riverhawks action tonight here on the station, 7:35. I just did this on the Hangout. I forgot what this team was that they're playing, and it ended up being not that.
Go on.
Well, it wasn't Ridgefield. Okay, they're taking on Ridgefield. But then they're back home on Friday. They have their home opener on Friday. They play Saturday. They've moved their game up to 1 o'clock. They also have a game on Sunday. It's the start of a homestand for the Riverhawks. Sunday will be the Stingers in action. They fell, unfortunately, in Vancouver yesterday, but they're still 4-1 on the season. Lost to a great Vancouver team as well yesterday. It was very tight. That's at the Expo Center on Sunday. Oilers game 1. Elks starting. This nice weather. There's just so much going on. There's only so many hours in the day. It's just fantastic. And then, look, we even got the NBA Finals for anyone that actually cares tomorrow.
Right.
So it's just a wonderful, wonderful time. And we will have the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pre- and post-game shows Saturday, West Edmonton Mall, Bourbon Street on the Hudsons there. We will qualify someone momentarily for the $100,000 hole-in-one contest presented by Golf Town. But let's first hear from the captain, Connor McDavid. I'm also just very intrigued. Did anyone ask him about the article? I really hope someone did. We'll find out right now. Here's Connor McDavid.
What your whole life for this is the excitement level for you heading into this weekend?
Yeah, really exciting, obviously. Great opportunity for our group. Something that we've been waiting for a long time.
If you have to go against Barkov, how would you be different than going against Miller?
Would you be different than going against Miller? We've played against a lot of good players throughout this run, a lot of good teams. Obviously, Barkov is as good as it gets in terms of playing both ways, and really, really solid player.
A lot of discussion has been about Florida's physicality, that sort of thing. For you, does that change the way you play at all when you play a team that's more physical than other teams?
No, I think we played a real physical team in Vancouver as well. It's the playoffs, it's the finals. I would expect physicality no matter who we were playing. Obviously, Florida plays a fast game, in your face, aggressive. I don't think it changes anything.
You've played a lot of games against Tkachuk over the years. Lots of antics, lots of things going on. Do you expect the same guy in a Panthers uniform that you encountered when he was wearing a Flames uniform?
I would expect the same guy, yeah. I would expect the same guy. He's a great player, smart, effective, understands, I guess the gamesmanship side of the game, and he's good at it.
The after the whistle game that you didn't get against Dallas, people are predicting you might get from Florida. That also comes with more power plays. Do you guys welcome, to an extent, the stuff after the whistle?
A lot's been talked about their physicality and the way they play and stuff like that. If they're going to take penalties and stuff like that, our power play is good at what we do. I would expect scrums and stuff like that. We're a veteran team. One of the older teams in the league. I don't think that stuff bothers guys in here.
Connor, could you talk about, as the captain of this team, and just the growth of your group? And you guys talked last year of what you didn't like within your team and where you wanted to improve. And this year you've won different games a lot of different ways. You've got guys coming into the lineup, whether you're winning or you're losing, and just kind of the diversity of this group and the ability to change almost in game to any kind of style. Where does that come from? How much pride do you take in that as a captain?
Where does that come from? It comes from having a lot of good players. in our whole organization, I would say. We have probably 15, 16 forwards that can play on any given night, and 7 or 8 D-men. It's we have the ability to change the look of our team just by making a couple of changes within the lineup. So it's a nice thing for Narva to have.
We end up playing Florida like twice a year. Is there more video work they break down for you?
Yeah, we don't play them much, obviously, and we haven't played them for a long time. So there's so I'm trying to figure them out. Obviously, I'm sure they'll be doing the same thing. I mean, the team that they saw, months and months ago is a lot different now. Just like the team we saw is a lot different. So, there's lots of preparation that everyone's doing.
You have a lot of guys in here that have been to a final before. What does that experience kind of bring to this team as you guys prepare for Florida?
Yeah, we got lots of guys that have experience. Like I said, we're an older group. We got lots of guys we can lean on for experience, and
I want to ask you about Corey Perry. When he had to come out of the lineup for the greater good, as he put it, can you maybe describe him as a teammate in that moment and what he was able to do for your club, even though he wasn't playing?
Yeah, there's a lot of selflessness going on this time of year. It doesn't matter who is playing or who's sitting. Everybody's trying to contribute, and you can contribute even if you're not in the lineup just by being a good teammate and showing up with a good attitude. And Parrish definitely did that, and we've had a lot of guys do that.
What does it mean to have someone in the locker room with that much Stanley Cup final experience as you prepare for Game 1?
Yeah, it's a great thing, obviously, to bounce certain questions off of, what it might be like, what it might feel like. He's definitely been there before. He's played. Said this before. He's played in every single big game there is to play in this game, and he's got a wealth of knowledge for sure in those games.
And there's Connor McDavid with the media this afternoon, down at Rogers Place as the Oilers getting set for Game 1 against the Panthers. Anything you take away from that, Tommy? Or McDavid being McDavid?
Pretty straight up.
Yeah.
Just, you know what? I saw a question come in about like the Oilers' depth compared to the Panthers' depth, and he kind of touched on it. McDavid did, saying 15 forwards who could play, 7, 8 D-men who could play. I think that's a testament to Edmonton's depth. And where is the text? Came in here out of Calgary. Says, do you guys agree with the take of, quote, Florida has more depth, unquote? Just from a quick look at the rosters, I'd have to disagree. And that's something we were talking about watching the practice today. It's maybe Florida gets more appreciation for its depth because it went to the Cup final last year, had a very strong season this year. But are you telling me that Kevin Stenlund, Ryan Lomberg, and Kyle Okposo are scaring you? I think the Dallas's fourth line was probably better than that line. Tarasenko's on the third line with Lostarinen and Lundell. That's an all right line. The top two lines are pretty damn good. Barkov with Reinhart and Verhaeghe. Bennett between Tkachuk and Rodriguez. Those are two of the best lines you're probably going to throw out there in this postseason. And then, the bottom six, I think, questionable. So compared to the Oilers' depth, I'd say it stacks up pretty even. Depends how the goalies perform and what happens on special teams. And a break here or there, I think.
A few comments I want to get to. One in the Nats chat, just quickly back to Greg Cody. Smitty the Welder saying great columnist, because I said I like Greg Cody and I think he's actually good at his job. With takes like that, Matty, he isn't a great columnist. Actually, with takes like that makes him a great columnist. A columnist they're there to just get people to read their stuff.
They do this.
That's exactly it. Stirring the pot.
He
did that right there. He got an entire city, actually an entire country, because TSN was all over this yesterday, looking at the Miami Herald and looking at his column. That is the job of a great columnist in the end. It might be a terrible take, but his job as a columnist, actually, he crushed it then yesterday. Yeah. He absolutely nailed it. But also just overall his work on other things and his job on Dan Le Batard's show. I actually really do like Greg Cody, and he actually generally has some really great takes. And everyone has bad takes occasionally. This one's a horrendous take from him. It's awful. It shows that
it's deliberate.
It's deliberate. It also shows that I don't believe he knows much about hockey, in a sense, at the same time as well. That's fine. He's in Miami. He probably doesn't care that much about hockey in the end. That's the situation
Very
of
true.
Miami. But That doesn't mean he's not knowledgeable in a few other things. Some other people are going that game 1 already sold out. Tickets went on sale at noon for games, at least for game 3 here. And I know Jasmine, the Nasty Chat, wondering if anyone else got them or if anyone got any tickets. It's going to be pricey. It's going to be pricey.
I'm glad you brought that up because I have a friend who sent his invoice and he got tickets, club seats.
Oh.
Do you want to know how much?
Yeah, I do.
$3,857
for 2.
For 2, where are they?
Club seats.
121, row 18, and it's for Saturday's game 2.
Oh wait, in Florida?
Oh wait, sorry. No, on the 15th, Saturday the 15th.
Okay,
The
so
home game
game
number
4.
2.
Game 4.
Okay. Home game number 2, game number 4. Yeah. For Can I just read that price again?
Yeah.
$3,857 for 2 club seats for game 4.
So what's that?
Second home game.
$1,400 each?
Yeah.
No, it's more than that.
Wait, no. 3,800.
No, I'm
Dude, 1,900.
Thank you. My brain's not working today with some of that stuff. 1,900 apiece.
This is modest.
Shock math right there. For shock math. 1,900. Jeez, that's only one game with all of that. Reminder to some people as well. One texter didn't sign their name. Says the circus is setting up. Went for coffee across the street today. Took this picture of the Ferris wheel at Fan Park. They're setting up the carnival. That will be taking place. So there is no Fan Park this weekend. So the only options to watching the Edmonton Oilers in that area,
inside.
The watch party inside, which is now $20 a ticket, or the Moss Pit. And I don't know if the watch party sold out yet or not. I don't know the ticketing situation for that for game 1. Moss Pit will fill out very quick now for sure because there is no Molson House. And there's no Fan Park this weekend. Those were there as the open extra spots with the Moss Pit. Now we've lost those 2. So the Moss Pit's going to fill out very quickly. You're going to want to, I'm going to say, line up pretty soon if you're one of those youngsters that wants to go to the Moss Pit. Otherwise, you're going to probably be denied at some point. But that's why you go to a support local, go to one of the many other establishments in the city, including Hudson's, West Edmonton, Bourbon Street, or on White Ave. White Ave has the great patios. They've got the 2 patios. What is it? North side and east side?
And east side, yep.
It's going to be a beautiful day. And look, even that, go to Elks game, then head out to Hudson's White.
Perfect.
That's a
I heard a rumor that there might be a watching the game element to the Elks game. So I don't know if they're going to have something to watch the hockey game after. Remember the Stingers were going to try that, and then they were kind of fell through.
That didn't happen.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that there might be something like that. I don't know for sure, but if you're at the Elks game and want to watch the hockey, I don't know if they're going to put it on the big screen or whatever, but it's just a rumor that was floating around. Maybe I'll get confirmation tonight at the alternate uniform unveiling at Ice House from 5 to 7.
I want to qualify someone for the $100,000 hole-in-one contest presented by Golf Town right away here. But Big Uke, want to get to he's got 2 texts, 780-218-9999. First saying game 1 sold out for watch party. Game 2 still tickets available because I believe Florida has more depth the same way Dallas had more depth. Let the pundits talk about how much better Florida is. The Oilers clearly like to be an underdog. Almost guarantee at the end of the day, our fourth line will outproduce theirs. And using the word our fourth line.
Big Uke's not in the media.
It's time now for the $100,000 hole-in-one presented by Golf Town, which will take place July 3rd, Ranch Golf and Country Club, 180 yards out at hole 17 this Father's Day. Swing big and find dad or yourself the perfect gift at Golf Town. Save big with huge deals on TaylorMade in-store and online now through Sunday, June 9th. Don't miss their top deals like the TaylorMade Sim 2 driver for only $330, 25% off TaylorMade bags, 2 dozen prior generation TP5 golf balls for only $80, much more this Father's Day. Give the gift of golf. Visit them in store or at golftown.com for more details. Some exclusions apply. Golftown, your ultimate destination for Father's Day gifts. The keyword to text today to 780-218-9999. Roll. 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 780-218-9999. Text that right now to our inbox, and you'll go into a draw to be the final qualifier for today for the draw that will take place tomorrow morning on the morning show with Lieutenant Eric, Glue Guy, and YTT. They will call someone, one of the 4 qualifiers today, and they will then be the, I believe, 8th contestant with a possible chance to swing for $100,000 on July 3rd. Was I saying July 9th? Or have I been saying
July 9th is our golf tournament.
That's why I think I maybe have, again, brain not working. I may have said the 9th, but it's July 3rd at the Ranch Golf and Country Club. And again, text the word roll, ROLL. Watch as your ball rolls. I'm putting an S on that one. Into the cup for a hole-in-one as you win $100,000.
Matthew, may I get to this text as
Go for it.
Lots of rolls come in via our inbox, 780-218-9999. Surveyor Brett says, Tommy, do you have any insight as to why the increase from $5 to 20 other than greed? I know portion, quote unquote, goes to charity, but still seems greasy AF, still making tons of concessions. Surveyor Brett, greasy indeed. It is all about those dollar bills. That's why. And they might come up with some BS excuse, but it's just to make more money. Because they can. And they will. And they are. That's what they do. There's no, rational, we need to increase the prices because of costs going. None of that. It's just, we can make them 20. People are going to pay 20. Do not even give them a chance. It's not. Matthew, there's no logical reason.
There's one for
What
me.
is it? Please.
They haven't increased it at all throughout the first 3 rounds. They could have maybe increased it by rounds. Now they're going 20 because the others are in the cup. The one reason I could say maybe is $5 is pretty cheap. $5, anyone could drop down $5 to get in. With the fact that now Fan Park is closed and there is no Molson House, maybe $20 is a good way to keep some idiots outside of Rogers Place. That person that can't get into the moss pit or that person that was planning to go there. We've seen some of the issues. The majority of it seems that this year has been fine, but we've seen some of the incidents in there. And maybe they're not wanting that to trickle inside Rogers Place for this, with the fact that they can't have as many watch parties, or they have to close those other spots down. And they just want to make sure they're going to use that as a little bit of crowd control so that we don't have a mess inside Rogers Place. That, I think, could be a reason, and I would have time for that one. Because it's $20 isn't that crazy.
No, it's not.
I would have liked it to be maybe 10, 10, not 15, but $10. But that's maybe the one thing I could see as if they're saying, could we make sure we keep some idiots out? Because those idiots generally would have went to the free spot over here. Now they'll just pay the $5, get in, and beat idiots inside. And they want to make sure that still stays really family friendly and good for kids. I'd have time for that. You don't buy that.
I respect that thought, and that is very noble of you, and that's why you are meticulous. That's the power of your brain at work.
I like calling out the Oilers for things, so.
And I don't think it has anything to do with it. I just think that they want to make more money. And they're.
But then why not do this?
Hey man, I worked for them for 8 years.
That's what I don't get then. Why not just have increased it
now? They're really
to $10?
Putting the screws in.
Well, go 5-5, and then if you get to the conference finals, you go to 10, and then this round you go to 20, and then it was natural.
Maddie, they go to the conference final. The price went up for people who want to get into the building for the actual games, but we kept the fan experience cheap. Now it's the Stanley Cup final.
Didn't the NHL control pricing for conference finals?
The NHL gets a cut of every game in both buildings. I think starting in the conference final, definitely the Stanley Cup final, and maybe this is Edmonton trying to recoup some of those losses that they have to pay to the National Hockey League. There is no good intent behind any of this. This is all to make sure that they are raking in cold, hard cash. They do it because they can, and they know that Oilers fans are so rabid right now, thirsty for the cup as they should be. They are willing to pay those prices. Look at my friend who paid $3,857 for 2 tickets for next Saturday's game, home game number 2, game number 4 of the series.
As we figured out, that's $1,900 per ticket.
We had to work on it together.
Right. You could also ride with EST all playoffs long, which will now go into the Stanley Cup Finals. Watch for the EST parlays every game day only at Coolbet. I am also working on, the boys want a series parlay to get posted, so I got to work on that today. Big Uke, huge props to him. I threw it out after the hangout. He has some good stuff for me to consider. So what I'm considering right now, I was looking at some of this stuff before Big Uke threw it my way, but he moved some numbers for me and stuff. But I'm thinking for an EST parlay for the series that I'll have to send to the boys at Coolbet. We'll have that up hopefully later today, and then you'd have the rest of today, Thursday, Friday, and part of Saturday to get to. The series going over 5.5 games, so going 6-7. McDavid over 8.5 points. Draisaitl over 2.5 goals. Bouchard over 5.5 points. Nuge over 3.5 points. Hyman over 4.5 points, and the Oilers win the series.
Damn.
I was trying to think of just maybe like a goal prop to throw in there. But that, I think I'm now just getting greedy. Like a Kane 1 goal or, throwing out a Holloway 1 goal or something like that. Maybe like a Holloway 1.5 points. Him getting a point. I wonder if that would move the needle at all. Again, I'm probably getting too greedy on that. So keep it locked, though, to Coolbet. Just click on exclusive. That's where all the exclusives usually go. I'll send something to the boys later today, and hopefully that will go up today. And I'll remind everyone tomorrow that we've got that going. Portions of this hour are also brought to you by Popeyes. Things get better at Popeyes. Is the new crispy chicken buffalo wrap is now available too. Classic hand-breaded and breaded, battered and breaded mild chicken tenders with bold buffalo sauce paired with fresh lettuce, tomato, and milder spicy mayo, wrapped in a soft flour tortilla. Available in store or delivery. Also, congratulations to Brelando. Brelando is the qualifier for the $100,000 hole-in-one contest presented by Golf Town. Keep your phone on tomorrow morning, as you could get the call saying you're the 8th contestant. Also, 4 more chances to qualify tomorrow right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, on the Nielsen Show, on the Hangout, on Lock Shop, and on Two Guys and a Goalie. Is there anything else we're missing from today from the Edmonton Oilers that you could think of? If not, we could go to Leon Draisaitl here.
Yeah, let's go to Draisaitl. He was actually really good. We covered everything on the ice. I wasn't there for Knobloch and McDavid. I had to scooch over here for the show. So let's hear from Draisaitl. He was pretty insightful today, I would say.
Leon Draisaitl, earlier to the media. Here's his conversations, or his comments.
People always talk about the final. How do you prepare? Is it you try not to be different, but it is the final. Does it feel different?
I mean, the stakes are maybe a little bit higher. But at the end of the day, once this is more, the media and media attention and the things that you have to go through before Saturday at 8 o'clock, that's all more. But once the puck drops, it's going to be hockey, and we're going to try and play our best game, and they're going to try and play their best game, and that's what it's been like for the last 2 months, right? So, you prepare for it. You prepare for their team and their strength, and at the end of the day, I think both teams are just going to try and play their game and impose their will on the other team.
The other day, Siakam was talking about how, in his experience at the final, there can be so much surrounding it that actually being ready to go at game time can be a bit of a chore. That's sort of one of the things that he took away. Is that something you're prepared for and ready for?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, there's lots of things going on the outside. Whether you have people coming in, family, there's a lot of requests and a lot of stuff going on. But at the end of the day, we're here to play hockey. We're here to win the Stanley Cup, and you got to be able to block that out.
Yeah, the Vancouver series was physical at times. Dallas was a different style. Florida, I think you kind of know how they play. You expect a more physical series. You guys got a lot of big players yourself. How do you feel your team is set up to handle that and maybe just give it back as much as you'll take?
Yeah, I mean, we can be a physical team too. Obviously, we like to play with the puck, but we're certainly not intimidated by physicality. We've handled it well in the Vancouver series, handled it well in the LA series. Dallas was a little bit different, but we're a good enough team. We got enough guys that know how to play that type of way as well, and we'll be ready to go.
I guess, Leon, you kind of answered it, but do you adapt your game based on how physical a team is playing with you?
Not necessarily. the game is going to be played a little bit different. The style is going to be a little different, but for me personally, it doesn't change much.
At the start of the year, you guys mentioned how you wanted to be more comfortable in the tight games. I think you've shown that. Do you feel that like when you're in the game, and just how much more confident are you in this group's ability? If you have to go gun to gun, you can, but you can shut it down when need be.
Yeah, we can play any style, and we can win any type of hockey game. We've shown that over the last numerous months here, and we're very comfortable in any such situation that's thrown at us. Whether it's high scoring or low scoring, defending and grinding one out, we can win games in any fashion.
Leon, you keep your frustrations to yourself and you keep waving out face-offs. Do they ever tell you, the linesman, what you're doing wrong?
I know what I'm doing wrong, but
what are you doing?
It's the heat of the moment. But I'm just on my toes and trying to dig in on face-offs, and sometimes just happen to jump a little too early, maybe.
Leon, Iwanyk told a cool story yesterday about driving home with his mom after Game 6, and she was taking video of the celebration. I know you're very focused, and there's still work to do. But have you had a soak-it-in moment or an interaction that was fun or positive in the last couple of days?
Yeah, I mean, I think just, the videos that you see online or, in the moment, you just soak it in and enjoy it. And, videos I've seen of all her girlfriends and wives and where they were sitting, just the happiness and excitement around the town, around family members, around this group in here is special to see. But like you said, we obviously have bigger dreams and bigger goals right now.
The Panthers have been given a lot of credit for the way they defend their goaltending, all that. What do you think of their team defensively, and what do you think you guys are going to need to do?
Yeah, they're an aggressive team. They defend well. Obviously, got a really good goalie. So do we.
What do you think of the time that you've spent with Holloway and Kane on your line? Obviously, you guys are a big, strong line. Just maybe your thought if that's the way it goes.
Yeah, I think I could play with anybody. Anybody on our team can play with anybody. We got so many great players. We got so much depth in this group that at the end of the day, sometimes it's just a different look, right? So very comfortable with whoever is going to end up there.
Leon Draisaitl speaking to the media earlier. Do you know when are they flying out to Florida?
Tomorrow.
They're going to fly out tomorrow. That's what Cass and Gage were thinking was going to happen. Get a skate in and then fly out. Game one on.
No skate tomorrow.
No
They're
skate tomorrow.
Fly.
Okay.
Yeah.
We want to qualify someone for the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival VIP table July 13th, Kingsman Park, as Kevin Hart will be taken to the stage. 6 o'clock or lager will be one of the beers you can get there, as Alleycat is the official beer of the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival here in Edmonton. Go to greatoutdoorscomedyfestival.com for tickets to Saturday or Sunday, which will feature Bert Kreischer and Whitney Cummings. It's Friday, completely sold out. That will have Andrew Schultz and Shane Gillis. We're qualifying for that VIP table until next Friday when we'll give it away. To get in on that, 780-218-9999. Great Outdoors Comedy Festival. Let's just text in GOCF. GOCF, Great Outdoors Comedy Festival, GOCF, 780-218-9999, and you will go into a draw. Almost done here on the Oil Stream. Busy night, busy time still here in Edmonton. Tonight, we got Riverhawks action for you, 7:35 against Ridgefield. I think looking for the series win. They won yesterday. Ridgefield won game one, so looking to come back to Edmonton for the home opener on Friday, I think at 500. They lost the first series 2-1. And I don't know if you saw the game or the score for Saturday, Tommy. It was 14-13.
Back and forth, wasn't it?
Yeah, 14-13, 27 runs scored combined in that game. Just ridiculous. So that's coming up later tonight here on Edmonton Sports Talk, on edmontonsportstalk.com, tune in, and iHeartRadio. Any final thoughts on the Oilers, Tommy, before we wrap things up here on the Oil Stream?
It's going to be a lot of fun. Buckle up. Gets going Saturday. We'll have wall-to-wall coverage of everything. Come on down, say hi at the alternate jersey unveiling for the Elks, their 75th anniversary jersey. I'll be down there. I'll probably get there like 5:30 or so, and it should be a lot of fun. And Maddie, buckle up. We're in for a lot of exciting hockey and football, basketball, and baseball. This is, like you said, a wonderful time.
I will also add soccer. tomorrow, Canada takes on Netherlands in friendly action.
Yes.
So we got that one. They'll be taking on France very soon here. Next Friday, it's Euros begins. Germany, Scotland. And then the following week on the 20th, June 20th, Canada, Argentina in Atlanta's Copa America kicks off. So it's all happening. It's all happening. We just got to find time to also go golfing in there. I don't know how that's going to happen. Tommy, this was fun today. Enjoy that the alternate jersey unveiling tonight at Ice House, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Great work, Maddie. I'll talk to you tomorrow, pal.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to the Oil Stream Nielsen Show replay coming up next on our audio stream. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. We're back live with live local programming, 6 o'clock tomorrow morning with the Nielsen Show. Lieutenant Eric J. Milne, YTT, and Riverhawks later tonight. Have a good one. Bye now.